Welcome back to BST, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on yet another episode. Today, the NBA play-in came to an end, so we finally have a solidified bracket to pick on. I'm going to be honest, it's been an NBA season that I have not paid the most attention to. I think the NBA has really just fallen out of my interest a little bit. Especially in the regular season. I'll watch the playoffs, but in the regular season, I don't know if many people will agree with me, but I think it's kind of just an unwatchable game at this point, an unwatchable product. But here we are. I'll be happy to watch the playoffs because usually those are more intense, interesting games. Fouls may not be called as much, stuff like that. That makes the game a little bit more fun to watch. And we've got some great matchups here. So without further ado, let's just get right into this. I'm just on the NBA.com bracket challenge. So we'll just go in order of their bracket. It looks like it starts in the West with the 1 versus the 8 seed, the Thunder versus the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies just beat the Mavericks a few hours ago to move on to this position. Right here it says picked by 97% of fans. I'm going with the Thunder in 5 games. I think they could definitely sweep them. I think 5 games probably at the most, maybe 6. The Grizzlies are a little feisty, but the Thunder are just really, really good. They are a very, very, very good basketball team. Much improved from last year, which they were also good last year, but I think they're more experienced. Their lineup is stacked. I don't see many teams being able to beat the Thunder. Moving on. Nuggets Clippers. This is a very, very interesting matchup. On the Nuggets side, obviously you got an MVP candidate. My MVP pick in Nikola Jokic, maybe the best player in the world. You got guys like Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon. Those guys, good role players. It all circles around Jokic. My one concern with the Nuggets is their defense. It's not the greatest. I really, really like Jokic. What scares me also is the coaching change just recently. Firing Malone seems kind of crazy to fire him that close to the playoffs. And on the Clippers side, Kawhi, when he's on, can go up against any star in the league and match him. Zubats this year has an argument for most improved player. He's become a 20-point-a-night center, really just become a dominant player. And I think he's a guy who can really match up well against Jokic. He's got the size. He's really built well, strong. I think he can bully Jokic. I think I saw a stat in the 6 times Jokic has posted up against Zubats. He's gone 1 for 6 on his shots. Obviously, I think he'll do better in this series. As much as I love the Nuggets, I think I'm going the Clippers here. I like the Clippers. I think this one will go 7, but I like the Clippers in 7. I really do. So moving on. Lakers, Wolves. This one's interesting because I know a lot of people thought the Lakers, even with Luka after that big-time trade with Dallas, many people thought the Lakers wouldn't compete because of the lack of center depth and a starting center at all. But, they got a lot of just good shooters. Obviously, it got Dalton Connect, who's a sharpshooter. LeBron can hit a 3 from now and again, but LeBron's just an all-time scorer, obviously. Luka is kind of the center of the offense now, and the true superstar of the team, which doesn't really have to be mentioned. So they kind of play a small ball. But Luka and LeBron are still pretty tall players. I like what they can do on that side. As far as the Timberwolves go, the Julius Randle for Cat trade, I don't think has worked out in their favor. They went from a pretty serious contender last year to one that I could see getting bounced in the first round. Um, I think Julius Randle is a great player in the regular season, but in the playoffs, not sure if he's built for that. Um, so I'm going to go the Lakers here. I felt like the Timberwolves have kind of been off all season, not really that great of a team all season. Um, Obviously, Anthony Edwards is a great player, most threes this year out of any player. So I think the Wolves have a chance here. Obviously, I'm not the biggest Laker fan, not a huge fan of those guys, but credit where credit is due. That trade has changed the outlook of this season for them, and I think the Lakers will move on. As far as games go, I think they'll move on in 6. I think the Lakers in 6. I like that pick. Okay, Rockets Warriors. I think the Rockets are not favored, being the second seed facing a play-in team. The Warriors is pretty outstanding. I don't think the Warriors are going to win this one. I think the Rockets will win in 6. Rockets have done a great job this season guarding Steph, and I really don't think that the Warriors have the players to compete. The Rockets can rebound really well. Obviously got Şengün. I just really like the Rockets. They're deep, and the Warriors, they're very Steph centric. The Rockets got some players that just got great length. And nobody on the Warriors really scares me besides Steph. And I think the Rockets are a team that can really shut them down. So I think the Rockets will move on to face the Lakers. As we move down here to the Eastern Conference, Cavs, Heat. Heat are, I believe, the first 10 seed to ever make it. They got Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, but they do not have Jimmy Butler anymore, which is on Golden State. So I'm going to go with the Cavs here. The Cavs have been the best team in the East pretty much all season. They've battled Boston here or there, but they held true. I think Cavs in 5 games to move on. Next up, Pacers Bucks. The interesting thing about the Bucks is Giannis has had another insane season, one of his best. Hasn't really got the recognition of the past, but it's been one of his best seasons. But big news, a month or a couple weeks ago, a month maybe, Damian Lillard was supposed to be out for the entire season with like deep vein thrombosis or something, which is like a blood clot, I believe, which is just scary stuff. Scary injury. But he seems to be trending in the right direction, and I don't think he'll be back for game 1, but I think he will be back in the series, as far as my knowledge goes. But I think the Bucks have also had some great role players. They shoot the 3 ball extremely well. I know a guy like Taurean Prince, I believe. He's one of those guys that has stepped into a good role. Kyle Kuzma they traded for in the Drew Holiday trade. As far as the Pacers go, they have Halliburton. This was the same matchup last year, I believe, in the first round. But I'm going with the Bucks this time. I think they'll get it done. Especially if Dame comes back, I think they can be pretty dangerous. I think this is one that goes 7, but I like the Bucks to win it. Moving on, the New York Knicks and the Detroit Pistons. I think the Knicks are going to win this one. I like Jalen Brunson. I like Cat. I think obviously the Villanova guys there, Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges. I like what they're made of. I think they're a great team. The Pistons, I think the Pistons are just getting started. I think this is a good step in the right direction, but I think overall the Knicks are the better team. And I think the Knicks will win in 6. I think the Pistons will show a little bit of fight. Obviously, Cade Cunningham. So I like the Knicks, though, to move on. And then rounding out the first round, you got the Celtics and the Magic. I'm going Celtics here. Won the championship last year. I think they're They're probably my number one contender in the East, so I like the Celtics to beat the Magic in 5 games. All right, back to the top. In the conference semifinal, Western Conference semifinal, the first game, you got the number one seed Thunder and the Clippers. I think this is going to be a really good series. Like I said, the Clippers, they're pretty underrated. They got rid of Paul George, which has worked out well for them, replacing with some role players. But like I said, Kawhi, when healthy, when on, can be up there with anybody in the league. But SGA, Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort, Jalen Williams, Isaiah Hartenstein. I mean, they are very, very, have so much depth. I don't see the Clippers winning this one, but I think they'll push the Thunder to 6 games, but I think the Thunder will move on to the conference final. Lakers Rockets. This one's a tough one for me. I think part of me wants to pick the Rockets, but I honestly look at this Lakers team a lot like the Mavs last year. Obviously, the Mavs had better center depth, and I'm not exactly sure who's going to be able to guard Şengün. So I go back and forth. I'm not a big fan of the Lakers, but Luka is just such a good player. You got LeBron. But I think I'm going to go with the Rockets here. Rockets in 7 to move on. The 1 and the 2 seed make it to the conference finals. I just don't think the Lakers have the center to make it far in this playoff. I think center is really important. Even if you don't have that superstar at the position, just somebody who can anchor defensively. I'm not sure I really like anybody that they have. So I'm going to go with the Rockets to move on to face the OKC Thunder. Okay. Moving on to the East, Cavs, Bucks. I think this is where the Bucks season runs out of magic. I'm going the Cavs. I think the Cavs will win in 6. I don't think this is the Bucks year. Kind of feels like they're inching towards having to trade Giannis or make a move like that, because this would be now 4 seasons without substantial success in the playoffs since they won it. So I think, I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of how the team is built. Obviously Dame is a good player, Giannis is a superstar, but I don't know, something about it just doesn't do it for me. So I think the Cavs are just so stacked. Their starting lineup with Mitchell, Garland, Mobley, Jared Allen. That is just outstanding. So I think the Cavs will move on to the conference finals. To finish out the semifinal, Knicks, Celtics. I'm going Celtics here. Pretty chalk bracket so far, but I like this. I think we'll go 7. I think the Knicks will push them, but I think at the end of the day, it's going to be the Celtics that make it through. They're just proven. They got the pieces they need. So I think they just kind of beat the Knicks in a bunch of different categories. Just looking across their lineup, I like their lineup a lot better. And when you're proven like the Celtics are and the lineup's better, I think that's a surefire way to move on. But I think the Knicks will battle them. I really do. I like the Knicks. All right, conference finals. Starting in the West, the Thunder versus the Rockets. The Rockets are a great story. They're going to be a good team for the future. But the Thunder feel inevitable. I'm going the Thunder to win. Again, I think this series will go 6 games. I think the Rockets can battle them a little bit, maybe make it 2-2 at one point, but I think eventually OKC will lock in, take care of business. Thunder have just been the best team all year. Um, their analytical numbers compare to some of the greatest teams of all time. So I think the Thunder are primed to make a deep run this year. Got an MVP candidate. Not much that I need to say anymore about that team. In the East, Cavs, Celtics. I like both these teams. The season series has gone back and forth. I'm not exactly sure who won that, but I know each team has at least won one game against each other, I believe. Um, but like I said, the championship pedigree is so huge. I like the Cavs, but I like the Celtics a little bit better. I think, again, this one could go 7, and I think it will. Celtics Thunder in the final. Now, this one is pretty interesting here. Celtics Thunder. Man, I don't know. This is just a really tough one. I like the Thunder. I like the Celtics. Do I just do it? Do I do it for Larry Bird right here? Do I do the Celtics? I think I'm going to have to. The only Jazz game I went to this year was against the Celtics. They looked really good, draining threes. Their lineup is stacked. I like Joe Mazzulla as a coach. I think his antics are a little weird sometimes, but I like him as a coach. I think this series will go 7. A lot of 7-game series. Maybe I'm just a little bit hopeful for some good basketball. But I think the Celtics in 7 to win their second straight finals. For a tiebreaker, how many total points will we scored in game 1? Ooh, that's a tough one. I'll probably go 212. We'll go 212 for that. So let's get this done. All right. Now I will turn off this camera so you guys can see the final bracket. Here it is. Thunder over the Grizzlies. Clippers over the Nuggets. Lakers over the Wolves. Rockets over the Warriors. Cavs over the Heat. Bucks over the Pacers. Knicks over Pistons. Celtics over the Magic. We got Celtics over the Knicks. Cavs over the Bucks. Rockets over the Lakers. Thunder over the Clippers. Then you got the Thunder over the Rockets. Celtics over the Cavs, and Celtics over the Thunder to win their second straight NBA Finals. I like the pick. Will it happen? Probably not. Is it pretty chalk? Yes. But I think that's kind of where basketball is going. We saw it in March Madness. I think the teams that do the best in the regular season often have the best rosters. It's hard to kind of go on a Cinderella run in a series kind of play style. In March Madness is much easier because you're only playing one game. But in these series against these deep teams, it's really, really hard to beat them. Win 4 times. So I like this bracket. Let us know down in the comments who your NBA champion is, who you think will win. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all those things. It is greatly appreciated. We'll have updates on all these rounds, both in the NHL, NBA, throughout the playoffs, obviously NFL draft coming up soon. And all of your support is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much for watching this, and have a wonderful night.